Now I haven't left myself very much time for my concluding, more personal remarks. I've taken up most of the time, practically all the time, with these 15 points for old and new order members. But I'll say just a few words of a more personal nature and hope that the respective tapes don't run out. As most of you will be aware, this year, in a few months' time, Bhante will be 68. So how much longer he has to go, how many more years are left to him, or even how many more months, he simply doesn't know. Nobody knows. And for the last 26 years, I have been quite deeply involved with the work of the FWBO and WBO. For the last 26 years, well, really, the FWBO and the WBO Day have been, I might say, my life. But that's not going to go on indefinitely. Even if Bhante manages to hang on for another, say, being optimistic, 10 years, he's going to be passing on sooner or later, and I think I may say that that's going to make some difference, at least some difference. So there's going to have to be a transition from being with Bhante to being without him. And I want to make that transition as easy as possible. And therefore, I've already started handing over some of my responsibilities to some of the more senior and experienced order members. And what I mainly want to say is that in the course of the next couple of years, I hope to be able to complete that process. During the last few years, despite having handed over quite a few responsibilities, I seem to have more responsibilities, or in fact, more to do than ever before, which is in some ways disappointing, but in other ways reassuring, but because it's mainly because the movement has expanded so much. But in the course of the next couple of years, I really want to hand over as much as I possibly can to the preceptors, especially the public preceptors and the presidents. And it's with a view to being able to do that we recently set up. COVID has been instrumental mainly in doing this, what we call an FWBO Central, which means sort of splitting the present Padmaloka FWBO, the Serlingam FWBO in two. One half being, of course, the half that's concerned with the men's ordination process, the other which is concerned with the order office, my personal affairs, publicity under Kulananda, public relations, that is to say, and so on. So the idea that I've had is that as this body is set up, I can hand over more and more of my responsibilities to it. I wouldn't like to have any one particular person having to bear the responsibilities that I bear at the moment. I don't think I would really like to hand over to just one person all my present responsibilities. So I'm hoping to be able to hand over my remaining responsibilities and any that may arise in the meantime to this small body of mainly preceptors and presidents who will be able to function through what we've called FWBO Central, so that as and when Bhante does pass on, which we hope won't be too soon, there'll be, as it were, the proper machinery in place so that there isn't too violent a sort of transition, so that, you'll be able to sort of, if you feel like that, mourn Bhante's passing without having to worry too much about how the movement is going to be carrying on without him. And of course, having succeeded in handing over his responsibilities, what's Bhante going to do? Well, that's no problem at all. If he doesn't have anything to do, that won't be a problem at all. He won't mind in the least. He'll be quite happy to do nothing for a while, but I expect he'll do quite a bit more writing. There are quite a few more little books and pamphlets and papers that he'd like to write, and of course he'll go on seeing people individually. He may even appear at functions and just sort of beam amiably on everybody.